Hi, guys. Good morning. It is Thursday, which means it is my favorite time of the week because I get to spend the next 30 minutes to an hour hanging out with you guys. So, first and foremost, if you have been here for a while, we've actually been doing this every single Thursday almost since February 15th. So, if you've been here for a while, you might have noticed that the background looks a little bit different. So, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. My family is going through a little something interesting right now. We are actually dealing with some water intrusion issues in our home right now. So over the next couple of weeks, maybe months, we will be in a new location. So today, I tried to make it as professional as I could for you guys, but we're going to be in a hotel for a little while. So you might see a little bit of a background, but that does not change the impact and the value and the content that you're going to be getting. So, first of all, thank you guys all so much for being here so early in the morning with me. I wanted to go ahead and say hi to everybody who is watching this live and also give a quick shout out to anybody who is watching the replay as well. As always, if you don't mind, just so we can help reach as many people as possible, stop what you're doing right now and go ahead and like this video so it can be given out to other Etsy and e-commerce sellers just like you guys, and that we can start to have an even bigger group every single Thursday. With that said, I'm actually going to go ahead and literally just get right into it. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Give me one moment. It actually says mock-up trainings, but it's not. Today, we're actually going to be going over what you guys should be doing to prep for Q4 right now. So we have 2 more weeks, give or take, like 2.5 weeks left of this month slash this quarter. So I want to make sure that you guys are ready to go. You have everything you need, and you basically have a little bit less than 14 days to do so. Okay. So before we get into that, I want to go over a few quick housekeeping updates. First and foremost, if you were here last week and you had the opportunity to enjoy the awesome conversation that we had with Heather at Heather Studio, I wanted to let you guys know that we actually are able to get her back in action on October 10th. So get your calendars ready. It's a little less than a month away. It's about 3 weeks away from today. And I am doing my part to grab the collective list of all of the questions that we didn't get to answer live because you guys had so many questions. And I'm so grateful, like how engaged all of you were. But because we didn't get to all of those, what I could have done is just put those answers in the comments on the YouTube video. But I was like, no, my guys and gals deserve more than that. So what we're going to do instead is get Heather back. So Heather will be back on October 10th. We are going to do a live Q&A recap, if you will. It's not going to be an interview like it was the first time. It's really going to be like answering all the questions that you guys had from the first one. And then, of course, any other questions that come up from the second one. So please be sure to tune in for that one. I will see you guys in 3 weeks on that. And also, if you guys are familiar with Cassie Johnson, she had just recently hit 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. So first of all, I want to shout out my friend Cassie, but also I'm super excited to bring her here as well. So we will be doing a live interview with Cassie Johnson at the end of October. I believe that will be October 24th or so. So again, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you have your post notifications on so that you will be notified when all these things are happening. And last but not least, a couple weeks ago, I let you guys know that me and the CEO of EverBee, his name is Cody McGuffey, we actually went to Dallas to attend a conference together. And while we were there, I put him on the hot seat and I asked him things about EverBee's past. Why was EverBee built? What features we can expect going forward? What's the roadmap for EverBee? And then ask some questions that you guys had as well. So that one is ready to go, and it will be going live on our channel on Tuesday of next week. So I think that's September 24th. So don't forget, again, I'm just going to plug, subscribe, post notifications, do whatever you have to do so you don't miss out on these 3 awesome things. With that said, my last little piece of housekeeping, I don't want to say housekeeping necessarily, but if you have any questions while we are going through all of the things that we're going to go through on our training today, and you're brand new to this, please don't be afraid to pop them in the live chat comments. That is literally what this is for. It's supposed to be an opportunity for us to chat, for you to ask your questions and get them answered in real time. So feel free to pop them in there for me. Or if you are watching this on replay, feel free to drop them in the comments below this video. I am the person who responds to all of those. So even if I have to just respond by text, I will absolutely do so. So just want to make sure that everybody else has that as well. Okay. All right. So let's get into it now. What should you be doing for Q4 over the next basically 10 to 14 days? Today's agenda is going to cover 7 different sections. I'm hoping to not take the full hour, to be honest. I've got a lot of stuff to do to get my house ready to basically move out of. I'm going to try to wrap this up as fast as possible for both of our sakes, but I'm going to deliver the value. Do not worry. So we're going to dive into 7 different sections. Holiday branding and shop presentation, what you should do or what you could do. It's not a requirement, but some things that you might be able to dive into. Number 2, really, really important, is how to optimize your listings for Q4/holiday sales. Then we're going to get into customer service and policy updates, which section 3 and 4, by the way, are kind of going hand in hand, because if you guys did not know, Etsy decided to make their third change of the year in 3 months that's going to take effect on October 1st. So you guys need to make changes now for that to not impact your ability to show up in search. We are going to go through all of that. That's section 3 and 4 are going to go hand in hand. Then I'm going to get into some marketing and promotions tips and tricks that you can use for Q4. Then we're going to get a little bit into gift mode and how to utilize it to your benefit for Q4. And last but not least is getting into inventory prep. So with that said, if you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and hide the comments for now, but I will be checking in after each section and addressing your questions and comments in real time. Okay. Someone also said, will this help Shopify too? I'm going to go ahead and address that now. There are so many things that we're going to talk about that can be applied to every single business in Q4. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Like my business, for example, is social media management and content creation for freelancing clients. That's why I'm here with you guys today, right? So knowing that, I literally can apply 80% of what we're going to talk about today to my own business that has nothing to do with e-commerce. So yes, the answer is this can also be 100% applied to Shopify, but there will be some things that are not applicable if it's completely related to Etsy's customer services or Etsy's policies. You're going to have to take that up with Shopify, but otherwise, yes, we can apply the majority of the stuff that we're going to talk about to literally any type of business for Q4. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into section 1, holiday branding and shop presentation. So what could be done here over the next couple of weeks, and this is why I'm giving this to you guys now. I didn't want to wait until Q4 started. I wanted to be what can they be doing over the next 10 to 14 days to go ahead and knock this out? So the first thing could be updating your banners, your logos, your logos, and any other visuals that you have maybe in your about section for the holidays. This also potentially could be your listing photos, but what I don't want you to do, I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but what I don't want you to do is update anything photos wise, the very first thumbnail photo, if you have a best-selling or high-performing item. You can adjust the rest of the photos. You can add some Christmassy, Halloweeny, Thanksgiving-y, whatever to photos 2 through 9, or 2 through 10. But I do not want you to touch that first photo unless your listings that you currently have are underperforming. Then by all means, make whatever changes you want. But what I was thinking here was your banner could be adjusted for every season that's about to hit us over the next, 3 months that we have together. And maybe even your logo, like my logo. I wish I could show you. It's actually on this wall right here, but it's just out of reach. But my logo is literally just a little, actually, you know what? Can I share this? No, I can't. Dang. All right. So it is literally just my signature. So my little initials of LC, that's my entire logo. So it's an element logo. And what I could do is instead of having my brand name circulating or going around that LC element, I could turn that into some Christmas lights, or I could turn it into some pumpkins, or whatever I wanted to do to be like branded consistently across, but also like kind of being in the holiday spirit. And again, why I wanted to tell you guys this now, why don't we go ahead and prep that? If you decide you want to do this kind of like branding overhaul for the next couple of months, like make them now and thank me later because all you're going to have to do is literally, let's say you use Canva, you're going to go into Canva, you're going to download the thing you already made and you're going to upload it into Etsy. And it's going to be so fast and so time saving because you put the work in September. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is updating your shop announcement with updated info consistently and like frequently. This is the time of year where not only people are buying the most, not only are people on Etsy more frequently, just in general, like statistics have shown, like that's normal. Not unfortunately, fortunately for us in Q4. But they're also like kind of needing things quicker to say the least. So I don't know about you guys, but I suck at buying gifts on time. Like I'm not, oh man, I just realized I forgot already again on something that I forgot earlier in the week. My sister-in-law is getting married on Saturday and it's Thursday. And I'm like, oh my God, I have not bought a gift yet. And so there are a lot of people like me who are going to be going to Etsy very late in the game and they need to know what to expect from you. So when is your cutoff for Christmas delivery dates? What kind of promos do you have going on right now? Do those promos have end dates that they need to be cognizant of, or else they will spend a lot more? Your shop announcement should be something that you are like quite literally announcing for your shop on a like minimum weekly basis, in my opinion. So these really only need to happen when you're making adjustments or when you're having promos or when you're having like an update or something. But please do not forget that. That is literally outside of your banner and your logo, your star seller, your reviews, like outside of those four things, the shop announcements is the very first thing that people see from you. So like make it count. If I go to a shop and it's like shop announcement updated April 2022, like I'm actually as a buyer less inclined to buy from them, especially because I'm an Etsy seller. It like makes me think that they don't really care all that much. Or maybe it's going to be hard to reach out to them as a customer because they're not actually on the platform all that much. So please don't be like that person who I am like deterred away from. Go update that shop announcement as much as you believe makes sense. Okay. The next thing is obviously don't forget that Christmas is not the only holiday. So whatever you can do to make things for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Small Business Saturday. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, obviously Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. Like there's so many things. And if you guys have not seen it yet, I actually posted a video. This was like February of this year where I did a 2024 annual deep dive into big and lesser known holidays that you might be able to capitalize on Etsy. I'll go ahead and link that video in the description if you haven't watched it yet, because that actually gives you a resource where it's like quarter by quarter, which granted, the other 3 quarters are over now. But you'll also be able to see quarter 4 of like what additional things you might be able to dive into. All right. Last but not least, as it relates to shop presentation, I really want you guys to think about pricing and discounts. This is the most wonderful time of the year for buyers, you know, because they are really going to be getting some discounts soon. They are going to be getting Cyber Monday deals, Black Friday deals, Christmas slashed pricing. There's so many different things that like our brains have become accustomed to over time that like you guys really need to capitalize on. So if you're thinking about just keeping your pricing strategy the way that it is, you might want to think again. It might be time to either bulk edit all of your listings and increase prices by 15% if you want to make the same profit margin still, but then I'm going to need a discount that is 15%. Okay. And your people are going to want that as well. All right. So with that said, we are done with section 1. I do have 5 comments. I want to go ahead and address those really quickly. Bosses Day. Yes, thank you. That was another one. So, Small Business Owner Saturday, Bosses Day is a really big one, I think in October, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe November. So, there's a lot of things to look at. Someone said, Oh, nice. Someone said they also use circle initials for their like element of their logo. So it might be a cool idea to kind of add those Christmas lights. I love that. I'm glad that helped. Someone also said, thanks for the shop announcement tip. You are so, so welcome. So with that said, I don't see any questions that I need to address. So again, let's keep this train rolling and move into section 2. So, section 2 is about optimizing your listings for holiday sales. I mentioned this a second ago, but I'm going to mention it again. Do not touch your freaking listings if they are performing well, if they are best sellers. There are things that we might have to address in section 3 and 4 because of Etsy's changes. We'll talk about that in a second. But if you're just trying to like edit the tags because you want it to be like Christmas gift for dad, or you want to change the thumbnail photo so the t-shirt that you had for dad now has a Christmas light background on it, don't. Just please God, don't. And don't blame it on me if you do, because this is going to be you're going to be thrown back into the algorithm, which means you're going to tank. Like your rating is going to tank, your ranking is going to tank, your results, your views, your traffic. Like you are asking Etsy to start over. So I'm going to say it again. If you have a best-selling item, or if you have an item that is just performed and maybe it's not considered a bestseller badge, don't touch it, in my opinion. But again, this is your business. You mess it up and we'll do whatever you want. But let's go ahead and get into the other things I wanted to talk about with this. So another thing we could do is including holiday deals or promotions in your listing descriptions. Not a lot of people do this, and I think you're missing out by not thinking about this. And the cool thing is Etsy actually has a bulk edit feature for all listing descriptions. Granted, you have to bulk edit that feature again when you're ready to remove something, but it's like literally click a button, select all listings, change the description, tell Etsy where you want that change for the description to be, beginning, end, middle, blah blah blah, and then like click do like click publish. So that could be something that like if you have 1,000 listings and you're like, Leslie, I do not want to go be like Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Halloween. I don't want to go put all of that in all of these listing descriptions. We got you, boo. It is literally the click of a button. So go look that up and see if that's something you're interested in. But most importantly, what I want to say here is there is the first 150 to 160 characters of everyone's listing description is kind of the most important. It does get more important as the listing description goes on, but the first 150 to 160, give or take, characters is what's called metadata. So that is what Google is literally pulling over from Etsy. And it's like the little blurb that someone sees on Google if they're searching on Google for Christmas gift for dad, Christmas gifts, whatever. And then that's what they decide whether or not they want to click on your thing or not if they're searching on Google, right? So knowing that, please, first of all, make sure that's optimized if you don't already know that tip. Let's start there. But also, tip number 2 is if that is optimized, or once it is, I want you to go ahead, if you're open to it, of course, you don't have to do this, but knowing that that's the first thing they see, and then the very second thing they see could be the promotion that you're currently offering for the holidays. So let's just say free shipping guarantee, or 25% off all gift items, like whatever your promo is for that time period, pop that right under the metadata collective section in your listing descriptions. And again, we can bulk edit, you can copy and paste, you can do whatever you want to make this easier on yourself. But that could be the one thing that makes them take action right then and there. So not only are they seeing the pricing, are they seeing the slash, are they seeing the discount, are they seeing potentially even the countdown if you're doing flash sales like I do, but then they're also being hit with it again right there in the listing description. That's just my advice. It's completely up to you guys, but it might be something to do. The next thing on your shop as a whole is I want to make sure that you guys are highlighting any best sellers or high performers or things that you think might perform well in Q4. Because let's say you had something perform well last year at this time, and it's probably going to do the exact same thing this year once you like edit a few things for 2024. Get those spotlighted somewhere, whether you pop them in the new banner you're going to make, whether you feature them on the 4 that you can feature on Etsy, whether you make new shop sections that say gifts or something that kind of directs people to that location. Does not matter to me. There's multiple ways to go about this, but whatever you can do to highlight and make it as easy as possible, the best user experience as possible for the person coming to your page. That's the goal. Make as minimal barriers to purchase as possible. So that would be a really good option, is not only to highlight them and then perpetuate the listing description promo that you're doing, but also potentially adjusting SEO to be holiday specific, term related. I don't know if I have to say it again, but I'm going to say it again. Don't touch your freaking bestsellers. Okay. Like, please listen to me when I say that. But if you believe that you can and you want to risk it, that's on you, fam. Or if you feel like you can do this for all of the future listings you're going to make over the next 3 months, or if you feel that I have some that have not been performing and I'm willing to try this out. Either one of those three is totally fine. But what I want you to do is think about two things. One, is it an evergreen product? And two, slash seasonal product. And then two, like, what kinds of high performing but low competition phrases can we use? Okay. So I'm going to go over those real quick. So like EverBee, I say that often, obviously. Evergreen versus seasonal products. Think about what you're offering. If you're offering a Christmas blanket, like, it's not really going to be evergreen. They're only going to purchase it for those first 3 months. But if you are offering a shirt that says best dad ever, that could be birthday, anniversary, Father's Day, new baby announcement, bachelor party, bridal shower, baby shower, Christmas. I mean, I could go on and on. It could be so many different things, but in the next couple of months and throughout the rest of the year, of course, you can do holiday specific SEO to push that even further for what we have going on right now. However, my part two to this is trying to find things that have less competition, but still are actively being searched. So an option that I had as an example, dad Christmas gift. What if we, like, that's like highly, look it up, trust me, it's highly, highly, highly saturated. But personal gift for new dad has 1,100 people that are competing for the space and 1,600 people actively looking it up. Dad Christmas gift is like over 180,000 people are competing for that space. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that not only looking at your current listings slash future listings that you want to make and wondering, is it seasonal only, or is it something that I can like profit from all year long? And then what kind of SEO keywords or key phrases might I want to add or adjust or subtract even? Like if any of your listings, for example, right now say gift for Father's Day, let's go ahead and replace that with gift for Christmas because it just doesn't make sense anymore for right now. And that could be blocking you from sales. Okay. Got a couple comments. So let me go ahead and address those in real time. All right. Someone said, please forgive me. Oh, you're forgiven. I am a little new to Etsy, a little less than 6 months. I am doing well, but what would I put in announcements? Oh my God, such a good question. What I would recommend, and I'm going to tell this to every single person I work with, no matter what I'm working with them on. Okay. So like not even Etsy, does not matter what it is. I'm going to say, do your research. So what I'm going to want you to do is look at people who are well performing in your space, your niche, your target audience, whatever, things that your target audience are already attracted to, and look at what their shop announcements say. But if we want just like a framework, I kind of have a framework, to be honest, that I like to do. But I like to kind of do like, it's quite literally, think of the word, phrase, whatever, shop announcement. It's not talking about you. It's not sending them to your social media. It's not getting them on your email marketing list. It's not thanking them for being there. It's announcing things that are happening with the shop. Okay. So make it as personable and humanized as possible, but just let them know what's going on. So if there's a promotional deal that's ending soon, that's the perfect place to tell them. If there are new let's say you put 4 new listings this week that you're very, very proud of, that is a location to link those. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with it, but quite literally, when in doubt, think about the word shop announcement, and that's probably your answer. Oh my God, Jenny. Jenny said, popping in to say hi. Oh, hi, Jenny. Love you. All right. Do we bulk edit description if products are performing? Such a good question, Catherine. To be honest, in my opinion, and this is again, we always say this is not Bible. So do not take what I say and go change your thing and then come back and yell at me, please, because I have a very sensitive heart right now. But what I would say is the things that are going to impact your SEO ranking most, in my opinion, again, not Bible, SEO itself. So the tags, the titles, the location of where you're placing those keywords, and your photos and your video. Those are like the most important things, in my opinion. And I say that with backup. When you guys go to buy something on Etsy, I don't know if it's just me. I might just be crazy and impulsive, but like I don't really read the description all that well. Like I will like scroll through the photos and I'll be like, this is dope. I want this. I see the pricing. I'm like, that ain't dope. That's too expensive. And I'm going to go to the next person. And that's how I perform my purchasing, right? So if I am at the very last second of, it's all subconscious, by the way. So when I'm subconsciously going through this like personal purchasing framework that I've built for myself, the last thing that I do to basically say yes or no 100% is I look at the listing description. So that's why I say I don't personally believe adding in that one little small blurb of, hey, buy this now and get 10% off. This sale ends on 10/31. If anything, I think that's going to help you. I don't think it's going to hurt you. But again, that's just my opinion. Do with that what you will. Someone said, where do we find the bulk listing edit? Good question. So it's kind of hard for me to do this backwards without like seeing it in my head. But if you go to your shop manager and then go to listings, and then there's like a little box that you can select all. Okay. So like, let's just say that's like right up here at the very top of the page. I know I'm backwards for you guys. It's right up here at the top of the page. And you click select all. Mind you, it will only be the ones that are on that page. So you're going to have to scroll down to the bottom and be like, see 100 listings or do the same thing for every page. Okay. So just keep that in mind. You'll know what I'm saying when you get there. Click select all, click edit. And then it should say listing description. If it does not, please let me know. I want to see what you guys see, of course, but it should say listing description of sorts. When you click on that, there should be this big box that allows you to type what you want into it. And then on the left-hand side, I believe it says like, how do you want to edit this? Do you want this added to the beginning? Do you want this added to the end? Do you want it added to the middle, etc.? So just keep that in mind. This is not a reversible feature. So if you bulk edit something and you make a mistake, or if you bulk edit something and you accidentally put something in the wrong location, you are now going to have to like re-bulk edit or re-go into each of them and delete. And I don't want you guys to go through that, but that is how to find it. Let me know if you can't. Someone says, where do we feature for on listing? I'm not sure what that means, but I think what you're asking is how do we actually feature those 4 bestsellers or what we think is going to be the bestseller? And the answer to that is kind of the exact same process I just said a second ago. Go to Shop Manager, go to Listings, and then on each of the listings, you will see a little star icon. If you click that star icon, it will turn yellow. Once you turn yellow, that star icon, it is added to your featured queue. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Very, very simple to do, but you can only have 4 at a time. So if you star 20 of them, just know you will have 4, the first 4 that were featured in that. Okay. Someone said, can you copy your best sellers and test out new strategies? Abso-freaking-lutely. I highly, highly recommend that. 100%. What about items that are done by year? Oh, good question. Like a 2024 Christmas ornament, and it was a 2023 ornament last year. Can we change the photo and description for the item if it was a big seller last year? 100%. Please, for the love of God, go do that. If you have stockings, if you have ornaments, if you have wrapping paper, if you have like first year married and it's like MERRYED or something like Merry Christmas, go do that. 100%. If it performed last year, probably safe to say it will perform this year as well. Obviously, do your research beforehand to confirm. But yes, I would say swap out those pictures, make it 2024 centric, get it going. All right. Can you give us an idea of how to pick the featured items? I just did that. Hope that helped. Okay, looks lots of stuff. Thank you guys. You guys are being so supportive and like encouraging today. I'm really glad this is helpful to you guys. All right, so someone asked, will the use of AI in descriptions lower our rankings? That's a really good question that I honestly do not have the answer to. I know that there are certain things that are against Etsy's sellers standards and against TOS as it relates to AI. But I don't think you are not allowed to use, like, let's just say Chat GPT or Gemini. Like, I don't think they're not going to get you in trouble for using that in your listing description. I use Chat GPT every single day. His name is Charles. Like, we have a like legitimate friendship. So I don't think I use it in my description. So I don't think it's a problem. But that hasn't been outright said. So that's the answer. I am going through the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You guys are talking back and forth. I love it. I use AI for SEO. I'm curious about that too. This is interesting. So it depends on what you're using, what platform you're using. What I will say is I love Charles. I love ChatGPT. But when it comes to ChatGPT for Etsy SEO, I think it's like 2 to 3 years in arrears. So what that means is like Charles is giving you guys SEO from like 2022 and you guys need SEO for December 2024, right? So I would recommend, if you're not already signed up for EverBee, like that's 100% where I get all of my stuff from. So I would recommend that, but also you can straight up just go through the people. Again, go back to research. Data is king. Everyone says content is king. I say data is king, okay? Because data, like numbers tell a story. So go where your people are, go where the people who they're buying from are, the other shops, and then again, use EverBee to see what SEO they're using and create your SEO keyword strategy from there. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Can you edit your sales? I don't know what that means. Annette, feel free if you want to ask that question again. Can you edit your sales? I don't know what you're asking. Sorry. All right. When you subscribed for Etsy promotion month discount, is there a way to stop the discount when Etsy is running it? I subscribed and put 60% off, and now I'm losing money. I am not sure what you're asking, Marianella. I do apologize. I'm not familiar with like subscribing to Etsy's 60% off. So I can't help there, unfortunately. Lots and lots of questions. Okay, so Carla just said ChatGPT is from 2021 and earlier. So I was even like a year off. All right, so question last. I think we only have one more question before I can get back. So we're able to create 2 types of sales, question mark. Flash sales that have a countdown attached to them and permanent sales that never go away. Is that correct or no? Great question, Wayne. The answer is no, because that's what Etsy will see. Like that's what like they will show on there. However, the good news is you can create sales for certain listings. So let's say you have an evergreen product that you want to put a 20% discount on all the time. And that's just something that you do. That can be one sale that you build by going to run a sale in the marketing section of your shop manager. And then from there, you also can do on the other side, let's say you have Christmas ornaments that you really want to put a 50% off sale, but it ends in 48 hours. You can do that as well. So it's not that you can do like 2 sales at one time, but you can do 2 totally separate sales that could be flash sales or long-term sales within Etsy by simply literally just creating run a sale and then making as many as you want. All right, someone says, would you recommend holding off on adding new Christmas listings until closer to Christmas? No, definitely not. If there is no interest this early, will that ruin chances of good ranking? So unfortunately, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but like people are looking up Christmas stuff now. They were looking it up in July. July, if I'm not mistaken, is actually the biggest time to look up Halloween stuff of the whole year, which I think is so strange. I personally love Halloween stuff myself and I'll buy it all year long. But we are preparing our stores 60 to 90 days in advance because one, we need to get the algorithm to understand who we are. We need to start getting views. We need to get some sales so that they know who to push that out to in the future. And then you need to basically be in front of everybody else is doing the exact same thing. So no, please don't wait until November to start doing Christmas sales. In November, you should be doing Valentine's sales or Valentine's listings. I hope that makes sense. Someone said, I heard it's illegal to run a sale continuously. Is that true? Marlena, I don't know where you heard that from. I don't know why that would not be true. Or sorry, I don't know why that would be illegal. That's a very, very strong word, first of all, illegal, right? So nothing that you do other than copying someone's, designs and doing copyright infringement or intellectual property infringement. Nothing's technically illegal on Etsy. So I would say figure out where your source was, but I haven't personally heard that. All right, now let's get into, let's see. Someone said it's illegal to run daily sales. Interesting. So look into that yourself. I do not know the answer to that. All right, let's go to section 3 now, because we are already at 10:35. All right, so customer service and policy updates. This is the thing, if you have not been listening so far, I highly recommend you tune in right now, because we are going to be getting into the new Etsy updates that they just kind of announced like 3 weeks ago. And they will be going live October 1st. So if you have not been listening, it would be a good time to like plug your headphones in, ton them up, and let's go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is I want you to think about a customer service plan for yourself and for your business. Do you need more people? Because customer service management is going to be a little bit heavy. Who will be owning what pieces of the customer service? What will you do if something goes wrong? How will you handle bad reviews? How will you deal with returns? Blah, blah, blah. So just make sure I have all these different options or thoughts that you guys can like run through, but just make sure you have this for yourself now in just a safe, tucked away area of your brain, or even a framework on a Google Doc, like whatever is going to make the most sense for your business. Go ahead and do that now, so it's easy to refer back to, especially if you have a team when the time comes, because it's going to happen. The time is going to come. So just be mindful. The next thing is I highly recommend setting up saved replies for any frequently asked questions or frequently like mentioned sentences, whatever, updates, stuff like that you send out, so that you can like save time on managing those potential customer interactions in the past or in the future based on the managing of customer interactions you've had in the past. Then you could also save yourself some time right now by creating a bank of canned review responses for good, neutral, and bad reviews. Just go ahead and get ahead of the game. The reason I like to do this is, one, saves me time. All I have to do is find a good review response from my bank and I pop it on Etsy and I personalize it for the person that made a review. The second thing is, if it's a bad or like neutral leaning bad review, we are very, very passionate about what we do. And we can put our foot in our mouth on accident when we respond in an emotional state. So I recommend going ahead and having this bank ready to go that's professional and helpful and valuable responses for potential negative reviews right now, to protect yourself from that in the future. Okay. The second thing, the first thing that has to do with Etsy's new changes, which I'll go over this in just a second in more detail, but you need to have shipping cost from here on out under $6 USD. The reason why is because of the updates. We will go over more about it in a second. But it goes live on October 1st, and they're actively saying that anything over $6 USD could prevent you from showing up in search. So if you have everything that's even a bestseller right now, on October 1st, it might not be if you're charging $12 for shipping. Just keep that in mind. I also want you to monitor your customer service stats. Again, we're going to go over that in a second. It's something that's brand new, but you do have access to that in your shop manager now as of 2 weeks ago. And then last but not least is maintaining clear and fast communication. Again, if you have the ability and the capital and the like mind power to manage a team or even just bring a VA on for just the next 3 months, it might be beneficial to you. So just keep that in mind. Do whatever makes sense for your business. I am going to go ahead and go to section 4 because, like I said, section 3 and 4 do relate. And then let's dive into the questions. So newly announced Etsy updates and October 1st changes. Etsy just announced some changes that will affect your shops and listings ranking starting October 1st. Specifically, they will be focusing on keeping shipping cost low and also the shipping process as good as possible, as like pain-free as possible. They want to keep shipping prices under USD $6, like I said a second ago, and maintaining good customer service stats. I will go in just a second. What does good customer service stats mean? What are they looking for? We'll do that in just a sec. So because of all the things we're about to talk about, you're going to want to make sure not only do you do all the random stuff we're talking about Q4 that you do every other year, but we also need to make sure that we are hitting these things literally within the next 2 weeks so that you are good to go for October 1st. Okay. So let's dive into each of these. I'm going to scroll and zoom in a little bit so that we can look at both of them. So the first thing is going to be Etsy search visibility. This is something that you will see as something on your shop manager dashboard now. It used to be called Search Analytics Beta, but they nixed that after that test didn't work too well, I don't think. And then now it's called Etsy search visibility. So please do me a favor. Go to your Etsy shop if you're not already there and see if you see that. If you do, it will look like this if you are in good standing with their search visibility rankings, or it will not look like this and it'll basically say there is room for improvement. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like a little pie chart that tells you, I don't have this, but like I've seen it from others, that tells you these are the things you need to improve. Okay, so there's that first thing. And then they will also give you some tips to fix those problems if you have them. And they also have this little thing right here, the Ultimate Guide to Etsy Search, which is a brand new article that was launched last week to give you even more tips on this. Part 2, however, is what's called your customer service stats. This is where the star seller badge kind of thing used to be. It's not there anymore. It is now in your customer service stats. So again, you should see this on your shop manager. It should say new next to it or something of the sort. Let me know if you don't, but it's going to basically tell you where you're at as it relates to being a star seller, but also how it relates to your customer service statistics. So you got star seller up at the top. It's moved to this location now. And now we've got our customer service stats, which is 100% on top of changing shipping prices, on top of your search visibility ranking. This is 100% something you need to be mindful of and take note of before October 1st. So the first thing is message response rate. As you can see, the star seller target versus service standard target. You guys should be able to see all of this in your Etsy. The next thing is on-time shipping and tracking, average review rating, and a case rate. So what you'll see on case rate is there's not a service standard versus a star seller target. The goal is just like have none of these, to be honest. But if you have to, there better be no more than 3 where Etsy has done the refunding from your account. So that's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to dive into. I'm not going to do it today, but what I am going to do is I posted this video going over it about 7.5 minutes. If you have 7.5 minutes after we get off this call together, go check this out. It's the most recent video on our YouTube channel. This goes over everything in depth. Okay. So I wanted to let you guys know what it was in case you missed this video, but I'm not going to go deep into it because I already did that in this video. So make sure you go check that out before October 1st, like today, so that you can get ahead of the game. Okay. With that said, wow, you guys got a lot to say. I've got 24 comments now. So let me take a quick pause and go see what we got going on. People are going back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Hayward Rice said, add Christmas yesterday. Yes, I love that. Heather actually said the last week on our live interview with her, she says the best time to start is yesterday and the second best time to start is today. So yes, I love that. A lot of people asking different questions. All right. So someone asked, is that different for other countries, or is the shipping cost rule only applies to the US? To be completely honest, I do not have that answer. They have not really addressed it, in my opinion, all that well. However, in that video that I have currently shown here, go check that video out. I've linked 2 articles in the description directly from Etsy. See if you can find the answer there. Someone also said, should we respond to reviews for all to see? I usually respond privately to all reviews. I only have positive reviews. Congratulations, Tori, first of all, for having positive reviews. But yes, I would say public review responses is something that could make or break your shop, in my opinion. Again, this is not Bible, but the reason why I say that is if I don't see, I'm thinking about my own purchasing framework. I go to someone's shop, I see 100 5-star reviews, and people are taking the active time to write active verbal feedback, but I don't see the person responding to them. That to me, again, it's the same thing as the shop announcement. It's like they don't have time to deal with customer service. So, in my opinion, I do recommend responding publicly. I'm going to skip that one. Opening my shop October 1st. Do I need to plan to respond to all reviews? The answer there is if you are planning on getting sales, you better plan on getting reviews. So there's basically like a 30 to 40% review ratio. So if you have 10 sales in the month of October, assume you're going to get 3 reviews. If you have the time management abilities to respond to 3 reviews manually, no, you don't need to make this. If you think you're going to get 50 sales and then you're going to have, I don't know, I can't do math, 10 reviews, which is, that whatever ratio, 20 to 40%, and you don't have time to manage those 10, make the responses. That's the answer. So many things back and forth. I'm sorry, I'm quiet. I'm trying to make sure that I'm answering questions because you guys are going back and forth, and I want to thank you guys for doing that. That's why we have this. Okay, yep, people talked about that. Yep. All right, someone said I have a dumb question. No question is dumb unless you don't answer or you don't ask it. If someone that is a family member or friends buys something that you can hand deliver, how do you handle that with a shipping label? Interesting. So there's one of 2 things you can do. So you can either create an Etsy shipping label inside Etsy itself and then print that off at your house, slap it on and give it to them, or there's no shipping required, right? So what I would recommend is basically just saying, you can actually build that out in Etsy, and then you will have to have tracking, in my opinion. I might be wrong here. I have not done this in a long time. But you will have to have tracking. So even if they are just down the road, unfortunately, I do think both you and them have to pay for it. So check that out for yourself. It's not a dumb question because I don't even know the full answer to it. But yeah, I would just say, see what Etsy allows when you're trying to complete the order. But I believe they're going to have to pay for shipping unless you put a free shipping guarantee on that thing. But then I am 99% sure when you complete the order, it's going to ask for tracking. Again, 99%, not 100%. If you have a negative review, message the customer first, resolve the issue, and they can change their review, but they cannot make a change if you respond. Very, very good, Carla. So again, if it's a positive review, grab things from your review bank. But if it's a negative review, I do agree with Carla. Try to see if you can work out an amicable situation, if you can provide any additional customer service to them. Never ask them to change a review, but deliver as high quality and customer experience as possible. And people are usually motivated to respond and change their review because of that. And then if you respond to the negative review, they won't be able to change it. Okay. So just make sure you are aware of that. All right, let's keep going. Section 5, marketing and promotions. I'm going to kind of squeeze through the next couple of sections because we are almost at 10:50. You guys had a lot of incredible questions today. So I'm so glad we had this conversation together. All right. So the first thing I want you guys to do is an email marketing strategy for Q4, right now. Go ahead, make your plan for what kind of promotions you're going to do, what kind of discounts you're going to do. If you're going to offer free shipping guarantee anytime soon, if you're going to take it away for a little while, if you're going to offer free shipping for Black Friday, go ahead, build out a content calendar for yourself that basically breaks all of that down. And then you will be able to then build a social media and an email marketing content plan to follow. Okay. And then last up is holiday season sales funnels. This might be way too advanced for this call because I can do an entire 2-hour presentation on how to do a sales funnel. But basically a funnel is literally it quite literally looks, I'm going to back up a little bit. Hope you guys can still hear me. There we go. So it's a funnel, looks like this, right? So it's basically just an upside down triangle. And at the very top is awareness. And at the very bottom is decision or purchase in this case. So what can we do to move someone through that? That is what navigating a sales funnel means. So how do we get awareness to our products first? SEO, titles, photos, videos, etc., whatever we can do. And then how do we convince them to buy? So most people are already doing a sales funnel and they don't even know that they're doing it. But it's because of the things that they're doing on Etsy that navigate someone through that subconscious purchasing framework that they have in their head. But what I want you guys to do, if you're interested, of course, this is like a lot more advanced than we usually talk about, but how can we take that same type of sales funnel of moving someone from even knowing that you exist to making a purchase? How do we move that kind of concept outside of Etsy? And the way to do so is no one knows about you unless you tell them about you, right? So get on social media, start telling people about you, start putting your products in stories, start linking your products to Facebook groups, start making emails, start opting in people to your list and sending them emails. Those are the ways that you're basically going to be able to navigate someone to purchase outside of Etsy on Etsy, if that makes sense. So again, very advanced. I'm not going to go deep into that, but it might be something to look forward to for your brand as well. And then last, actually, I think there's two more. I also want to get really quickly into gift mode. This is something that was launched, I want to say in February or so of this year, but it's something that is very, very, very beneficial for Q4. This is basically Etsy's AI, internal AI, that allows people when they type in things like gift for blank. In this case, I don't know why. I'm actually lactose intolerant and I've been dairy free since February. I'm not sure why. I put gift for cheese lover, but it's the first thing that came to my head. So I put gift for cheese lover here, and then you will see once someone types that in and click search, they are automatically presented with introducing gift mode, and then they can click into that and go through it. So what I recommend for you guys over the next 2 weeks is go through that process as if you were a searcher, as if you were an Etsy buyer, as if you were a customer, and then try to find ways that you might be able to utilize gift mode to your advantage. So what I mean by that, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. What I mean by that is gift mode, unfortunately, does not have any titles whatsoever. They only have price, photo, and video. So if someone comes in here and they click on, ooh, I'm a video gamer, or ooh, my sister's a video gamer and I want gifts for her, and they click on this, this is the kind of thing that they're going to be presented with. So you need to make dang sure that your photos are where they're supposed to be. Your thumbnail photo, most importantly, is where it's supposed to be. Your video, because when they hover over this, the video will start playing, is where it's supposed to be. And your price/discounts are where they're supposed to be. Those are the only 3 things that you have control over for gift mode. However, I say all of that because now you also have control over how people are finding you within gift mode. So you got to get to gift mode first for those other 3 things to even matter, right? So we can use the gift mode to build our current listings around what people are actively searching for by, let's say we click on, who are you shopping for? Baby. And then we go through all the people who are high performing and are being pulled up on gift mode for baby. And then we see what tags they're using because you guys have the EverBee Chrome extension. So it's a lot easier for us to manipulate the current listings we have, or maybe even think about new listings that we would have never thought about before, because Etsy is literally telling us who to do it for. So let's say there's Get Well gifts, there's Just Because gifts, there's the pickleballer, the globetrotter, the dog lover, etc. So these are multiple pages of examples of people that might be in your audience, but you didn't even think about them, but you could make more listings because of it. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the comments real quick before we go into section final 7. Someone says, how do you update your sale or discount on Etsy? Go to your shop manager, go to marketing, go to, I'm going to say this wrong because I'm not looking at it. Find the place that's like discounts, and then it will allow you to create your discounts or your flash sales through there. Okay, lots of other questions. When someone gives you 3-star, but then she wrote she loved the item. Oh, that makes my heart hurt. I've had that happen. I get it. I've been there. That happened once. And I was like, but did you really love it? Because it would have been, I would have loved a 5-star review. So I get it, dude. That sucks. And what you could do, Marianella, is reach out to them via Etsy message in the future, or if this is retroactively going backwards, and just being like, hey, I see that you did this, but you left this. what could I have done better? It could literally be a mistake. They could be like, oh, shoot, I'm so sorry. 5 stars. If you've already responded to, however, we cannot do that. But I still would get feedback. That's the biggest. I always, like I said, numbers tell a story. Data is king. And customer feedback is data. Just because it doesn't have a number on it doesn't mean that it's not data. It did have a number. It's a 3 stars, right? So that's 3 out of 5, which is a 20. What is that? 40% out of 100. I cannot do math. Y'all know me. I love math, but I can't do it. Unfortunately, I like calculators. But what I would say is, even if you have responded to this person, even if it's been 6 months, like, it would be so awesome to gather that data of what you could have done better. So let's say she loved the product, but the shipping was horrible. Let's say the processing time was horrible. Let's say quite literally the communication was horrible, but the product was awesome. We have to remember that the product is not the only thing that they are experiencing. So it's really great to go and be humble enough to ask for that feedback. Someone said another dumb question. How do you market with email when Etsy doesn't give you access to customers' emails? Interesting question. So they don't give you access to customers' emails, but you can ask for it. So basically, EverBee email, if you want, of course. EverBee email is an option that you can go. There's other ones that you can look into too, whatever suits your business best. And then you would basically just create an opt-in form, because that's the thing, is they have to opt into your list in order to get on your list. You can't just start adding people, right? So you give them the opt-in form. They say yay or nay. They give you their email address because they decided to opt in, and then you have it. So like that's how you do it. But if you're interested, feel free, go to our YouTube channel. I'm giving you guys lots of directions of what videos to watch next, but go to the YouTube channel, go to playlist, and then find email marketing. And there's, I think, 6 or 7 different tutorials where I go over that entire process. Someone said, is it still relevant to sell digital products like planners, coloring books, and any printable details? Does it still work? That's a very strange question, to be honest, because yeah, they could work forever. It just is what you're offering and like what's in demand and what's trending right now. So I would just do your research on, like, don't just make a coloring book for, you know, something that's like very generic. Find an audience that is really going to love that. For me, this is actually probably going to like get me in trouble with my boss, but I actually have a coloring book of swear words. So that I bought that for myself. I thought it was hilarious because they were all like flowery and all these like really like aesthetically pleasing pages. And then it would just have like that word, you know, and I just thought that was hilarious. So I bought it. So coloring books very, very much so could still be a thing. Printables can still be a thing. It just is, who are you trying to sell to and what are you trying to sell to them? New seller here. Still haven't set up my shop. Is it too late for Q4? Not at all. Especially if you're doing digital products, people buy stuff literally up until the holiday itself. Just don't take too much time getting set up, in my opinion. If you're trying to hit Halloween, I would probably move on to fall/Thanksgiving/Christmas. But again, if you're doing digital products, people buy that up literally until the day. So it really just depends on what you're selling. I am new to all this. Does Leslie have her own YouTube channel? You're so sweet, Becky. I actually will very soon. No one knows that yet. So congratulations to the 170 people that just found out before everybody else did. But for right, like all you got to do is go to EverBee. And that's me everywhere. So I'm actually the YouTube manager for EverBee and the community manager for our Facebook group as well. So feel free. There are literally, I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many videos. You have a lot to go through, sister. But if you want to, we have videos every single Tuesday that you can watch retroactively. We also have every Thursday live streams just like this since February 15th of this year. So feel free. You've got a lot to carve out if you want to watch all of them. All right, let's see. No one has signed up for my EverBee email list. Any tips? Adriana, we are running out of time, so I will go ahead and say head to our playlist on YouTube, email marketing. We got a lot of stuff in there. In my opinion, it seems like too much. It seems passive aggressive. I would just let it go and focus on the next awesome product with a higher profit margin. I love that idea too. All right, I think that's all we need there. So let's get into the very last section. Inventory prep. This was mostly for my handmade and my print on demand sellers. If you're a digital seller, you don't necessarily have inventory. I would spend your time focusing on making new products as much as possible. But for my POD and handmade sellers, you will need to know a couple of different things. Okay. When are your cutoff dates for on-time Christmas delivery? That's very, very important. And from my experience last year doing print on demand, they like some of the print on demand, not I don't know what to call this, not the companies, but the partners. So like the partners that partner with the companies, if that makes sense. So like the actual suppliers, they literally, some of them had cutoff dates as of like December 9th. Okay, so just please go find that. It probably won't be available now, depending on who you're working with, but it will be notified to you guys very soon through email, through their portal. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on those. Okay. And then secondary to that is make sure you're telling your people in all the different locations we talked about today in advance. Pop that in your banner when you know that like cutoffs are December 9th. Pop that in your banner, pop that in your shop announcement, pop that in your listing description, send it in your emails, pop it on social media, whatever you can do, because you really don't want to experience a bad customer service experience because of you not preparing people ahead of time. So my example for this is, let's say someone comes to your shop and they find something that they love because you spent a lot of time creating a dope product, and then they don't get it in time because you didn't tell them that the cutoff date was X, and they buy it and they didn't know that. So please make sure that you're getting out in front of that before it happens. The next thing I want you to do is make sure you're keeping an eye on your inventory, whether you're a handmade seller or keeping an eye on your POD provider's stock. So that happens every year. It was really, really, really bad if you guys were experiencing it alongside me in 2020, because stock just across the world sucked. Please, it's gotten better. It's been 4 years, but like, please keep that in mind, especially if you have like Chinese suppliers like I did for a while. Like, you're gonna need to know if things are going to even be in stock and get here in time. All right. Also, if you're a handmade seller and you use certain shipping profiles or providers, so like UPS, FedEx, DHL. I had the worst time with DHL last year that I literally just nixed them as a shipping provider altogether. So just keep in mind that whomever you work with, I would recommend looking up if they have any cutoff dates, if they have any low shipping times notifications. Just go ahead and just get ahead of that as fast as you can when those things come about, because they come about every single year. So I'm just getting you guys ready for the inevitable so that you guys can be ready for the inevitable. Okay. Also, make sure that your shipping profiles, your shop announcements, whatever, have all of those like we discussed. And then last but not least, remember that your customer service stats, shipping pricing, and shipping timelines are now within the utmost importance regarding the new Etsy update. So do your part to keep those rankings positive based on all the things we discussed today. Okay. All right, guys. Well, today has been incredible. I thank you guys so much for being here. When I see you guys next Thursday, bright and early, we will be in a hotel room. So it's going to look a little bit different than this, but I am excited to still come and deliver as much free value as physically possible. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments of this video and I will still respond. Literally as long as the video exists, that'll be me talking to you guys. Okay. So thank you guys again so much for being here. I hope you have a better weekend than I'm about to have, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Love you. Mean it. See ya.